Ani kinawaya, Girgabijuna Denawema, Kinagachianish Nabakogaming Nadonjaba, Nagojawani Megwadoda, Bidas Musake Nadijnakas. Canada is founded upon the genocide of Indigenous nations. It removed Indigenous peoples from our homelands through murder, imposed starvation and poverty, harm, forced sterilization, and the removal of generations of children from families and into the residential school system from 1880 to 1996, where they were tortured, starved, raped, beaten, prohibited from speaking their language and practicing their religion, and where many of them died. There are currently more children in the child welfare system than at the height of the residential school system. Indigenous women, girls, transgender, gender diverse, and two-spirit people continue to go missing at an alarming and disproportionate rate. And despite making up only 4% of the population in Canada, Indigenous women account for 42% of all federally sentenced and incarcerated women in the country. From the Indian Act to the creation and maintenance of the reserve system to the police that show up when we are defending our lands from pipelines, golf courses, clear cuts, and mining, Canada supports genocide because Canada exists because of genocide. International law didn't prevent it, the UN didn't prevent it, and Canada's legal system for the most part supports it. The Canadian state has engaged in a process of truth and reconciliation, and watching Prime Minister Trudeau and Minister Jalais support Israel, support genocide, and now withdraw UNRWA funding means both truth and reconciliation were always a sham. We are still here, and we are still fighting, and to my Palestinian siblings in Gaza, in the West Bank, in 48, and in the diaspora, I will fight for you too. The settler state that dispossesses and occupies our lands supports Israel in dispossessing and occupying Palestine. I encourage Indigenous peoples worldwide to visit indigenousforpalestine.org to sign our letter of solidarity and to commit to the Palestinian call to boycott, divest, and sanction Israel and all institutions complicit in Israeli apartheid and settler colonialism. I encourage you all to organize mutual aid for Palestine and for Gaza, to demand freedom for political prisoners, and to support land back and the right of return for Palestinians. I demand that Prime Minister Trudeau reinstate Canada's UNRWA funding and demand the return of Mansour Schuman, a Palestinian Canadian citizen believed to be abducted by the IDF a few days ago. To close, I will echo what Palestinians have been saying for decades. Stop the genocide, end the siege, end the occupation, dismantle apartheid, free Palestine. Miigwech.